VOX, we have information on Mega Millions winner, Hurricane Michael, aid, and more. Taylor Lawson will have your local weather, and Aaron Carroll will have your sports.
It's Monday, October 22nd, 2018, and you're watching VOX News Today.
Please stand for the pledge of the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon and welcome back. I'm Jay Standridge.
And I'm Gideon Ratcliffe.
Early Friday morning, people lined up at the Life Care of America's Campbell Center to donate supplies to the victims of Hurricane Michael. This event is co-sponsored by the Life Care Centers of America and WCLE's Mix 104.1 FM. Cleveland is truly the city of spirit, said Cleveland Mayor Brooks. Cleveland always steps up. I'm proud to be a part of the Cleveland family. Whirlpool is also aiding to the effort by donating appliances to those affected. Brandy King, Senior Communications Specialist at Whirlpool, says when they heard of the pictures or heard of the devastation, they wanted to donate appliances to help survivors rebuild their lives. Life Care President Beecher Hunter was astounded by the generous support Cleveland gave forward to the relief effort. I knew it was going to be a large turnout, Hunter said. It was a validation of the city with spirit. That's how I know they are. WCLE's Steve Hartline stated, "This is what people do here. They are truly Tennessee volunteers."
A Knoxville Mega Millions player has won $2 million. There's no information about who the winner is, but the winner was one number shy from hitting the jackpot. The Mega Millions jackpot is now at a record setting of $1.6 billion.
Alabama voters next month will decide on a constitutional amendment about display of the 10 Commandments in public schools and government buildings. The proposal will allow any public school to put the 10 Commandments up anywhere where it would comply with any historical document. Dean Young is a Christian activist who is promoting the amendment, says it will send a message to acknowledge God.
Crews were able to rescue 15 people after a fishing vessel catches fire near San Diego. Unfortunately, 3 others are still missing. Monty Garrego reports.
Footage from a U.S. Coast Guard helicopter captures the tense moments a rescuer is lowered down to the waters off Coronado Island to help save victims of a devastating fire on a Mexican fishing boat.
We had gotten reports of about 20 people in the water just south of the Coronado Islands.
Lieutenant Adam Scalezi was one of the pilots during last night's call.
By the time we got on scene, the boat was pretty much completely engulfed in flames and smoke.
Scalezi and his team were called to the scene by the crew of the fishing boat Time Machine, who saw the fire and immediately began life-saving efforts.
Their crew on board, they were able to get these 15 people on board their vessel and out of the water, out of a pretty bad situation that would have been much worse had they not been there.
The Coast Guard airlifted 2 victims said to be in critical condition due to severe burns to a San Diego hospital.
We could be searching for 15 to 20 people in the water. It's a lot harder to find people that are in the water than on a boat.
The other 13 survivors were transferred over to the Mexican Navy. We're told 3 more remain missing.
The Mexican Navy is continuing to look. They have control of this case at this point. They continue to look for those 3.
As for his team's part in the rescue,
you just kind of revert back to your training because we train for stuff like this. Worst case scenario, I mean, we're out there to provide a level of care to people that are in need, really.
A caravan of migrants from Central America has crossed from Guatemala into Mexico, heading towards the U.S. The men, women, and children saying that they are fleeing poverty and violence, but the journey has been anything but easy, and there's more hurdles ahead. John Lurenick reports.
Thousands of Central Americans, most of them from Honduras, are marching toward the United States.
This bridge, this river, they can't stop me, she says. I am an all-terrain woman.
They cite corruption and gang violence as to why they're leaving their homelands.
Our message is we're not criminals. We're coming over here because we want to work. We need a job. We need better, a better life. That's why we're here.
I don't want my kids in the middle of crime. I don't want to have the lives of my children further destroyed.
Mexican officials have been overwhelmed with asylum requests and have asked the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees to help with processing migrants. President Trump, meanwhile, has issued a warning. Those who don't apply for asylum in Mexico will not be allowed to enter the U.S.
I will seal off the border before they come into this country, and I'll bring out our military, not our reserves. I'll bring out our military.
Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen says the U.S. is keeping a close eye on the caravan and will prosecute those who are trying to profit from irregular migration. Some of the migrants are low on money, but they keep moving forward, hoping for the best.
We have faith in God.
We have the faith in God.
He has the final word.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Saudi Arabia appears to have attempted to cover up the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi with the help of a body double. On the day Khashoggi disappeared, surveillance footage shows a man wearing Khashoggi's clothes leaving the Saudi consulate and later dumping a plastic bag likely filled with Khashoggi's clothes near a popular tourist attraction.
At first glance, this man could almost pass for Jamal Khashoggi, and that's the idea. These are the last known images of Khashoggi alive, moments before he entered the Saudi consulate. Take a look. Same clothes, same glasses and beard, similar age and physique, everything except the shoes. But a senior Turkish official tells CNN that the man on the left is a body double, one of 15 Saudi operatives sent to kill Khashoggi and then cover it up. His name is Mustafa al-Madani. Surveillance cameras capture him arriving at the consulate in a plaid shirt and jeans at 11:03 with an accomplice. 2 hours later, Khashoggi arrives. He was killed inside shortly afterwards.
While Khashoggi's fiancée waited in front of the consulate, we're told al-Madani came out through this back exit. Disturbingly, he appears to have been wearing the actual clothing of the murdered journalist. The intent, Turkish investigators say, was to perpetuate the lie that Jamal Khashoggi left the consulate unharmed.
The apparent double and his companion take a taxi to Sultanahmet Mosque. It's one of Istanbul's main tourist attractions and an easy place to get lost in a crowd. The men head to the bathroom. The accomplice carries a plastic bag. When they emerge, al-Madani is wearing his own clothes again.
And just like that, Jamal Khashoggi has disappeared forever. Or so the Saudis would have had the world believe. Little did they know Turkish authorities would quickly uncover the cover-up.
From their next stop at a nearby restaurant, where al-Madani appears to have ditched his fake beard, to a dumpster, where the men finally dump the plastic bag. The senior official says investigators believe it likely contained Khashoggi's clothes. As they head back to their hotel, the pair appear visibly relaxed. Their mission is complete. Clarissa Ward, CNN, Istanbul.
Girl power. That was the slogan today as Girl Scouts learned about different trades and career options available after high school. As Taylor DiCello reports, they got some hands-on experience.
Today in Meriden, Girl Scouts troops put down their cookies and picked up their hard hats.
All of the building trades in Connecticut are here representing, giving the girls an opportunity to get exposure to construction.
At the local 777 in Meriden, Girl Scouts tried their hand in electric, carpentry, metal cutting, and other trades.
We have in construction 3.2% women, and we need to have more. We've had 3.2% women for 30 years.
Usually the trades program event is reserved for the Boy Scouts. This is the first year that the Girl Scouts are the ones that get to come in and play with fire.
For our troop, we've done a lot of projects of meeting like women in STEM. Like when we were in 4th grade, we had to do a project on that. So it's nice to be like doing more of that as we get older.
For the experience that they can't get hands-on, they go virtual.
Here you can use a crane simulator to pick up and move objects as you would on a real crane. It's a fun new experience that organizers hope will get more women motivated to learn a trade.
There's definitely a shortage, and really there's nothing in the trades that a female can't do that a male can't do.
For most people, running a marathon is a special event. But for one couple taking part in a Detroit Marathon this weekend, it was extra special. They decided to squeeze in a wedding before finishing the 26-mile jaunt. Jennifer Wilson reports.
Two people in this sea of runners started the Detroit Free Press Chemical Bank Marathon engaged, planning to seal the deal halfway to the finish line. But what's even more mind-blowing? No one thought Whitney Black would ever be able to walk down the aisle, let alone run, after being seriously injured in an accident.
21 surgeries in total. Was told that it was possible she would never walk again. I'm just so proud of her. Watching her set these goals and then blow right through them has really helped our family a great deal.
Today, 13.1 miles into her first marathon, Whitney married her soulmate, Stephen Phillips. Friends and family waited with the veil.
I promise to trust you even when we deviate from our grocery list.
Their vows were short and sweet.
Whitney, I give you this ring.
That you may wear it.
That you may wear it.
As a reminder of my love for you.
As a reminder of my love for you.
And about 5 minutes after the ceremony began,
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss your bride.
they were ready to finish the race.
Well, I'm not feeling stiff yet, so that's good.
When asked why a marathon, she says it's a setting that perfectly fits their relationship.
We challenge each other to do better in every way.
These two are in it for the long run, and it'll be crossing that finish line as husband and wife.
It was surreal for a number of reasons. One, the setting, just the madness of the marathon itself. But to see my baby sister being married, it's a lot to take in, but I'm just so happy for her.
When you see something really scary, head to your local theater this week as David Daniel has details in the Hollywood Minute.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
This Halloween, you can see Night of the Living Dead like never before. Before he died last year, George A. Romero supervised the restoration of his zombie classic, which most fans have only seen in fuzzy, murky versions for this year's 50th anniversary. October 24th and 25th, hundreds of U.S. theaters will show the film in 4K Ultra HD, remastered from the original camera negative. Check your local listings if you dare. A Star is Born is still the star of the Billboard charts. The soundtrack for the hit musical is #1 on the Billboard 200 albums chart for the second straight week. It's Lady Gaga's second album to repeat at #1 after 2011's Born This Way.
This is a new race, a new species. Life form.
Venom may have lost the top spot at the domestic box office, but it's still going strong. The horror thriller scored a third straight weekend atop the international box office, and global ticket sales are topping $461 million. And that's before the film opens in China and Japan. That's scary good in any language. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Now send it over to Taylor with the weather report.
These weather stories will flood your interest after this break.
Burns can be.
CRCC to me is a calling that God placed on my life to really step out in faith on something that I didn't think I could do, and it's been amazing to see how God's worked through it.
CRCC stands for Crossroads Community Church, but we're a church that our vision is to be a life-giving church in our community. We do that through helping people know God, find freedom, discover their purpose, and then go make a difference. And so that's what we're doing every week, is helping people discover their jam and go make a difference.
take a look at our local radar, and as you can see, it's pretty clear again today. Not really anything to worry about, so you can leave those umbrellas at home. And into our national radar, it's been getting pretty rainy up in Ohio, but right now it's pretty sunny, and in Texas, it's partly cloudy today with highs in the mid-60s type of area. And speaking of Texas, the flooding has been pretty bad lately. So what would you do if you were in that situation? Like, how would you handle having to leave everything behind?
I would just grab everything and just go. I don't know where I would go, but I would take the high ground. Get a boat. Just get a boat and just head off.
And speaking of Ohio, after a storm, this Ohio man is thanking his lucky stars and that his Avon home is still standing. John Kellogg reports.
All of a sudden, I saw this massive thing just come right down.
John Kellogg says he's lucky his Avon Lake home is still standing after most of this big tree in his yard cracked and fell over during Saturday's storm.
I'm out in my PJs and my sweatshirt, surveying what happened. And it's like, wow, the garage is good. The house is good. I was shocked.
And in Lakewood, this is the aftermath of a garage fire. 2 cars charred and a structure demolished after the storm knocked a utility pole on top of the garage and it burned. And in Cleveland, a tree slammed into a car, smashing its windows and damaging the body. In another part of the city, this tree came down on Clifton Boulevard, blocking off a lane on a busy street. Street lights for businesses and homes out for over 24 hours now as crews rush to get power lines back standing upright. With damage like this all across Northeast Ohio, Kellogg says he'll be counting his blessings for quite some time.
It was a miracle.
Also, in Texas, people who live on Lake Travis and the parts of the state, the country, are dealing with severe flooding, and local nonprofits are doing what they can to help. Jacqueline Powell reports.
An entire town almost gone. Those who rode it out.
You were up to your neck in water.
Yeah, with a 96-year-old lady next door, and my mother, and 2 dogs.
And you made it.
We're here, baby.
Would you do it again?
Nope.
They barely survived. Search and rescue now searching for survivors and possibly the dead. Emergency officials expect the death toll to climb.
And I do expect that we're going to find that kind of bad news. And, there's a process that we go through for that. And then our priority obviously is the living. And we're looking for people that are trapped.
Several people we spoke to say they haven't yet heard from neighbors and friends who rode it out.
What's happened to Mexico Beach?
It's a disaster. It's I was really shocked to see what it looked like.
This CNN exclusive video of the moment the hurricane hit shows winds as high as 155 miles an hour, shredding this once tranquil beach town. Then an enormous storm surge, a dozen or more feet of water bulldozed large sections of Mexico Beach from the coast to the interior. 30 miles out from Mexico Beach, some roads no longer exist, entirely covered by downed trees for miles.
Brandy, it's Dad.
With power out, those who survived have no way to tell the world they're still here. When they do, the news, about as bad as it gets.
Do not come down here. Do not. You can't get in. It's devastating. We had a hole in our house, but that's all that's wrong with it. Grandmother's house is completely gone. It looks like a bomb landed.
The devastation here, jaw-dropping. The main drag, Highway 98, collapsed in many places, water eroding the sand beneath. Entire homes, their living rooms still intact, slammed into condos across the street. And the most popular bar here, Toucans, reduced to a pile of rubble.
Now let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. Today it'll be sunny outside with a high of 65 and a low of 41. And on Tuesday, it'll be partly cloudy outside with a high of 68 and a low of 42. On Wednesday and Thursday, it'll be partly cloudy outside with a high of 63 and 58 and lows of 43 and 45. And now through the weekend, it'll be rainy outside with highs in the higher 50s and the lower 60s and lows in the higher 40s. The higher 40s. Now let's send it over to Aaron with your scores from last night.
Information on Tennessee-Alabama game. Formal NFL player, prison release, and more after this break.
Your wallet's empty, and you've got bills to pay. What do? Stop worrying. Get the cash you need today at Check Into Cash. We offer payday advances, auto title loans, and lots of ways to put the cash you need in your pocket today. And we make it quick, easy, and confidential. So stop worrying and stop in to Check Into Cash today. Visit checkIntoCash.com for the store near you.
Let's get right into it. In the season of college football, Tennessee sadly lost to Alabama 51-21. NBA Clippers game against the Rockets, Clippers won 115-112. Here are the highlights.
To the corner, wide open three. Avery Bradley. Got it over the suddenly hard to the basket, put on the brakes. Down to the left hand and scored and got fouled. Really a hero for the easier dunk. All right, puts a couple of defenders. Boy, he got that figured out. Those two guys do. How easy is Capella? Got him going right. But he makes a dandy bounce pass to Harris for three. Good on four. Bell. The 2-1 guard. Makes that play, Rob, is the about to come in the guard up. Harris steps back for three. Bingo! Tobias Harris! Big shot. Also, this fell. Denver's on foul. 3-1 and a foul and a 4-point opportunity. Ouch. There's nobody wins. They give the ball to Hart. Great job by Gallinari to just get him out of rhythm and sped up. Tough shot at Harden. If Harden made that, another great team win for the Clippers, Rob.
Now let's take a look at the play of the day. DC United's Lucino Acosta picks up the ball along the left touchline. Acosta avoids the first defender and then cuts back on the second and third defender as he continues his run to the penalty box. And then Acosta passes to DC United's Wayne Mooney, who scores the goal.
Couldn't get it by Tinnerholm. He turns, knocks it upfield, but it's given away. This is Acosta. Working on Tinnerholm. Hooks right by. Acosta into the area. Luciano Acosta to the line. Drops it back. And there it is. Wayne Rooney for Luciano Acosta. And DC leads 1-0. Well, you can watch Major League Soccer all weekend, and you will struggle to find a piece of individual brilliance better than this from Acosta. Together from Tinnerholm.
In other news, ex-NFL player Ray Caruth was sentenced near 20 years in prison and was released today. from me. Now let's take a look at your school announcements after this break.
Life happens. Whether it's car trouble, medical bills, or other expenses, Checking to Cash has a new flexible loan solution. Introducing the Flex Loan. The Flex Loan is an open line of credit. You control how much you borrow with flexible payment options. If you need a payday advance, we offer those too, because true flexibility is the ability to choose. For life's little emergencies, we're your one-stop money shop.
Welcome back, Bradley Central. As you know, here on Vox, we've started a series where we cover the various career and technical education programs our school has to offer. Today, we'll be covering welding. This is the last of our career and technical education programs. Now let's take a look at our school announcements.
This week is Red Ribbon Week, and in light of this, we will be showing a report by dressing up. If you plan to participate, the themes are as follows. Today is It's Crazy to Do Drugs Day. You can follow this theme by wearing crazy socks or having an outlandish hairstyle. Tomorrow is Tacky Tourist Day, so make sure to bring your passport. Wednesday is Wear Red Day, which speaks for itself. Thursday is Safari Day, and Friday is Bradley Day.
Also in support of Red Ribbon Week, teachers decorate your door during advisory. The best door will get a pizza party.
The ASVAB and career exploration test is scheduled for Wednesday, October 24th in the cafeteria from 8:20 to 11:30. Any students 16 or over wishing to take the ASVAB must come to ROTC to sign up. It is free to students. Please see Lieutenant Colonel Chris Ingle in room G24 or G27.
The Fall Harvest Festival dance is Friday, October 26th in the courtyard under the stars. After the football game, come out in your best costume. There will be a costume contest, couples costume contest, and lots of outdoor activities. No masks are allowed. You're scary enough. Tickets will go on sale Wednesday, October 24th during lunch for $8. No tickets will be sold at the door. We are online on YouTube at BCHS VOX News.
You can also check us out on Facebook, WTNB, and of course, VoxNews.net.
You just can't get enough of Vox.
That's all we have for you today, Bradley Central.
And as always,
God bless and go Bears.